Hello and welcome to Sportsweek. I'm Harry Rudman-Jones here with all the best sports coverage from around the county for the final time this year. Eastleigh Fc have won 6 of their last 7 home encounters in the National League and look to continue their impressive run on Saturday as they welcomed the high-flying Wrexham. Hollywood megastar and co-owner of the Welsh side Ryan Reynolds couldn't make it to the Silverlake. However, our very own local superstar Jack Charlton was in attendance to give us the report.
Eastleigh took on promotion challengers Wrexham at the Silverlake on Saturday, aiming to move closer to the playoff positions. The visitors were looking to close the gap on tabletoppers Notts County. And the Welsh side came racing out of the blocks as the ball fell right to the penalty area for Paul Mullen, whose left curling effort nearly caught out Joe McDonnell in goal. Eastleigh were able to have a good spell of possession, winning a few corners, but didn't create anything from them. The deadlock was then broken on the 18th minute as captain Luke Young found Ben Tozer on the left of the box and the centre-half converted brilliantly into the top left corner. It was then the other Wrexham centre-half getting in on the act as Hayden teed up Elliot Lee, whose strike left Joe McDonnell in goal rooted to the spot. Half-time at the Silverlake and Wrexham were 2-0 up. There wasn't many chances in the second half, apart from this one that came courtesy of a Wrexham long throw, as Elliot Lee was denied a brace by Joe McDonnell in goal. Full-time at the Silverlake, Eastleigh 0, Wrexham 2.
The goals they've scored today were just quality finishes, and they're not really chances. They've come out to him and smashed it in the top corner, and Lee, that's I think the third world he scored against us this season with a fantastic finish.
Jack Charlton, Winchester News Online.
England's journey in Qatar came to a heartbreaking conclusion on Saturday after a 2-1 defeat to world champions France in the quarters. Lily Gage took a trip up to the capital to find out how fans reacted as the nation once again comes to terms with the fact that football is not coming home.
England played against France in the quarter-final of the World Cup on Saturday, with home nation fans feeling optimistic. After a goalless first half for England, fans were feeling a bit deflated. But locals tried to boost the morale of their pub by bringing out the guitar. Harry Kane brought back a spark of hope during the second half by scoring from a penalty.
This was not enough as Giroud scored a late header in the 78th minute.
Both Rashford and Kane had chances in the later half of the game to equalise, but it was too much to ask.
How do you feel about England being knocked out of the World Cup?
Well, actually it's my second year being in England, so I'd rather to see the people cheering up. Yeah, I'm not really happy actually.
I think it's a shame, but it's Christmas, so we'll get over it.
I mean, it's disappointing not to match last World Cup's result of getting to the semis and we couldn't get further or match it. I think they tried, it was unfortunate that we missed the penalty.
Lily Gage, Winchester News Online.
Basingstoke Town are back in action this evening as they welcome Fleet Town to the Winklebury with a place in the Hampshire Senior Cup quarters up for grabs. I'm now joined by sports reporter Tyler Reynolds to discuss Dan Brownlee's side's chances. So Tyler, first and foremost, a lot of games have been getting cancelled recently in non-league. What are the chances of this one going ahead tonight?
Yeah, so there's been plenty of games called off recently. Winchester City and Basingstoke, just two of the teams across Hampshire that have suffered to frozen pitches. But Basingstoke are quite confident this game will go ahead. Their pitch can withstand temperatures as low as -8 degrees, so they're pretty confident this one will go ahead.
And in terms of the recent form of the two sides, how have Basingstoke been doing and how have the visitors' Fleet been doing?
So Basingstoke are unbeaten in the last 5. They've won their last 5 and they've scored 20 goals in the process. Their most recent victory coming in an 8-0 win. Fleet Town, on the other hand, have lost 7 out of their last 7 and they haven't won since the 25th of October, so it could be a difficult game for them tonight.
And in terms of team news, anything you can give us ahead of tonight's fixture?
Yeah, so Dan Brownlee said that the dynamic of tonight's game might have changed a bit with the weekend's game being postponed. He wants to give some of the youngsters a chance and he says he's taking the Hampshire Senior Cup seriously. So you could expect to see a few first-team starters on the team sheet. But ultimately, he said it's going to be the strongest 11 that will play, and that's how it will be.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for giving us that, Tyler. Well, one Basingstoke player who's been on fire recently is Bradley Wilson, and all defenders in the Isthmian League are terrified. Jude Richards caught up with the man himself recently to find out the secrets behind his recent success.
Having taken up an offer to play in Australia in early 2020, Bradley Wilson's return to the Stokes has been nothing short of a revelation. And with 14 goals in all competitions this season, the forward has finally found his feet in Basingstoke.
I got into Basingstoke by chance actually. So it was Brownie, the manager, knew someone that I knew, and I actually just wanted to stop playing football and all. I wasn't enjoying it, so I ended up just going down to a club called Fleet just to play with one of my best mates who was down there. And yeah, I ended up leaving there, and then Basingstoke came knocking and said, look, we'd like you to come down here. So it was complete chance, and yeah, it's obviously ended up quite well, so we're doing well this season.
The top scorer in the league, Brad Wilson, has earned himself praise from his manager and his chairman.
I love working with Brad, and long may it continue, but yeah, he's developed hugely over the past 2 to 3 years particularly. He's had 7 days and offers and opportunities elsewhere pretty much once a week at the minute, and I've no doubt when I get home, check my emails, there'll be another club interested in him. But he's found a home here.
Incredible player, as you can see from today. Goals, assists. Yeah, he's a top player, and yeah, gives it all for the Stoke every week.
The Stokes number 7 accredits a lot of his improvement and hard work to his manager, whose voice of reason has kept Wilson in firing form.
There's the famous saying, don't get too high on your highs and low on your lows, and I'm a very emotional person, so the lows do get me quite a lot, but Browns is the one that always says to just keep my head straight and just knuckle down and just do what I do best. So he deserves a lot of credit, and he's improving massively as a player this year.
Now 5 points off top spot with 2 games in hand, Wilson's contributions will certainly help the Stokes launch a title charge. Jude Richards, Winchester News Online.
Now for something a little bit different for Sportsweek, American football, but not as we know it. Torrin Budd attended the Winchester Silverbacks match against Oxford Brooks to explain some of the key differences between American football and Uniball.
Yeah, so we're here in a freezing cold Oxford today, but I'm joined by former Silverback Ollie Taylor to talk us through a little bit of the rules to do with Uniball and American football as a whole. So if you could just take it away for some of the beginners of watching the sport.
No problem. So the way it works is there's a 3-tier sport. It's a mixed sport, so ladies can play. That's not a problem. It's not just big burly men that can play. Anyone can play. So you've got 3 divisions. You've got Premier, you've got Div 1, you've got Div 2, and they're split into subcategories of the North, South, Southeast, Southwest, and all that.
What would be a few of those sort of niche rules do you think they would really impact the game, sort of the most important ones?
I mean, for one, the hashes are a lot wider on a pitch. In the NFL, you've got them pretty much nigh on the same width as the goalposts. In college football, they're a lot wider, so you have a lot less space to work with if you're trying to work on one side, especially whichever hash you line up. That's one thing. There's other things. So let's say as soon as you go down, the play's ended. So you see in the NFL, someone might catch a ball, they fall over, they can get back up and they can carry on as long as they haven't been touched. This, as soon as you're on the floor, play's over. Cool. No more.
Well, thank you for talking us through that. And up next is Alex Franklin with the highlights from Winchester Silverbacks versus the OBU Panthers.
Winchester Silverbacks travelled to Oxford on Sunday. They were in for a testing afternoon against an Oxford Brooks side that didn't take long to stamp their authority on the match. Moments later, 1 touchdown became 2. The floodgates were open. Next came Oxford's number 10 to make the score 14-0. In the third quarter, he was at it again. Fast, powerful, dominant. Everything Winchester weren't. But after that, Gerson Vieira was having no more. A fantastic hit to halt Oxford's number 11. With no more space down the sides, Oxford took a more direct route to continue the scoring. As the light began to fade in the final quarter, the Silverbacks sought consolation. And it came in the form of Gerson Vieira. Final score, Oxford Brooks 36, Winchester Silverbacks 6.
It's a hard game. Limited squad numbers don't help. They kind of just killed us. We lost a lot of momentum and a lot of depth.
As a unit, we just need to work together, really band together, and really get the morale up, and then just look on to next week. Really, that's just how it's going to have to be.
We're not clicking. Passes aren't getting completed. Offensive line aren't getting enough push. Our running backs are dying really, and it's on us. So.
That was Alex Franklin there reporting for us and summing up a disappointing afternoon for the Silverbacks. And that's all we've got time for this week and indeed for this semester. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you again soon.